What is up? It is Friday, October 9th. You know who it is. And if you don't, you should by now. It's your allies behind enemy lines. Ryan and Joey coming to you thoroughly behind enemy lines in Cowboys territory, holding it down for all our Redskin Washington football team faithful out there. We bring it to you every Monday. We got a little wrap up show Friday, got your preview show going into the week, things like that, news and notes in between. I don't know about you, Joey, but there really hasn't been a whole lot of news coming out of Washington. Is there anything that you can think of that maybe we could start the show with or talk about?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's because we're in Texas, but there hasn't been anything kind of coming up. I watch Good Morning Madden, Good Morning Football every day, and I haven't heard anything but talking about Washington or what's going on with them.
Yeah, me neither. It's been kind of quiet on the front lines. No, in all seriousness, we got to jump right into it. Kyle Allen, he's going to be the starter. Dwayne Haskins, he got the boot. Everyone's kind of got their own opinion on it, and kind of
he gone.
From first string right to third string. They're moving up old Peg Leg Smith up to second string. So if Kyle Allen doesn't do any good, he's going to be in there, which is scary for me to think of him being back there with that shaky offensive line play. Although it is playing a little bit better. But yeah, I mean Dwayne. Who knows if this is the last we've seen of him? Maybe the last of we've seen of him this season. It'll be interesting to see. And this is what I was kind of worried about when Kyle Allen came over with Ron Rivera, was that Dwayne was going to have to be looking over his shoulder the entire time because Kyle Allen was his guy, was Ron Rivera's guy, that he was kind of going to be on a short leash. And talking to Ron Rivera and some of his press conferences after the decision was announced, he was saying pretty much what it boiled down to was the fact that the NFC East isn't very good right now, and we can compete for a division title. And that right there, I think, is the wrong move. I don't know what you think, but I think that's the wrong move. Whether or not we can compete for a title should not really depend on because now we're going to maybe set back this team another season or two trying to shoot for this NFC East title, because we're going to get bounced the wild card. It doesn't matter who we play. The chances are, even if we did win the division, we were probably going to play a better team. This might set us back another season or two by just trying to go for this division title just to prop ourselves up a little bit. And two, if we happen to win that title, that division title, and make it to the playoffs, now what? Now we're picking in the draft next year in the 20s when we could have had a top 10 pick. It's just, I think it's a poor decision all around, especially if that's what you're basing it off of. If you're basing it solely off of his play on the field, which you couldn't be making this decision if you were doing that. If you're basing it solely off his playing on the field after this past weekend. That's just kind of my opinion. Where do you stand on things?
Well, I have a lot to say. To tell you, you had a lot to say. I have a lot to say about this. And first and foremost, you said a lot there. And one of the first things we knew about Ron Rivera, and he showed it, instantly in the draft. He showed it with how he handles everything. Is Ron don't play. Yeah. Ron don't play. He's got your back all the way. He's gonna keep it in the house. Got your back all the way until it's time, and then things start to come out. And things started to come out yesterday. Today being Friday, yesterday being Thursday, things slowly started coming out yesterday morning about what really went into the decision about benching Dwayne Haskins. And, benching it. And we call it benching because it's not like you're just starting somebody over him and putting him at number 2. They dropped him all the way to number 3. So that said a lot to me.
He's going to be
inactive. Yeah, that said a lot to me instantly. It was like, what did that? That to me is not a guy not doing well. It sounds like it's not your guy. And it makes me think about a lot of things, when you think about Ron Rivera. And like you said, based upon what's going on in the field, you can't make the judgment off of that. You can't make the judgment off what he's on the field because he has gotten, all right, hasn't done terrible. We saw maybe a little bit of progression last Sunday, against the Ravens. But when the dirt starts coming out, so reports came out yesterday that players were saying that Dwayne Haskins was I guess they log, study time, Zoom study time, whatnot. Dwayne Haskins had the lowest out of all the players. And was perceived to have more focus on social media and outside activities, and that makes me think a lot about Johnny Manziel. Who was not cherishing the spot of being an elite 1 out of 32 men on this planet, a starting quarterback for a professional football or an NFL professional football team, and he's not taking it wholeheartedly. I see another report come out from another player who said, "Man, I see Alex Smith coming in earlier than you and studying harder than you." And that just goes to show, who do you want to start your team? You said Ron Rivera brought over one of his boys, and Ron Rivera, and just as I said when I started this conversation now, Ron don't play. And if you're one of Ron Rivera's boys, it's because you don't play, and you're there for the right reason. So if he's going to bring somebody over, to his new spot, where he's trying to establish, that person's proven to Ron that he wants to start and play, quarterback in the NFL, that he's going to do what it takes to learn this system, which he knows, and what was told is, this guy's a better fit for the system. Again, a lot of that stuff coming in the press conference was Ron being Ron and being a nice, not throwing anybody out under the bus. But as other reports started coming out yesterday, that Dwayne wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing and doing all the things that we thought he was doing, which is studying and putting in the work and trying to really improve his game, then are we setting our team back by changing him right now? I don't think so. I think we're doing what Ron does. He don't play. And so he's cutting it off as soon as he's made the decision. This guy is not what we need right now moving forward. And he made the decision. Did he drop number 2? No, he dropped him to number 3. And that made that decision to me. So was it the right decision? If all this is true, obviously we're taking reports from other people. I say yes, absolutely it's the right decision. I'm glad he didn't drag it out the entire season and set us back that much farther. Now we get to see what we do have in Kyle Allen. And it might be saving our best for last, paving the way for Alex Smith to come do this redemption story that sometimes write themselves.
I think people are writing are rooting a little too hard for that redemption story and are trying to kind of make it into something it isn't. But I saw the same reports that you saw and things like that that were reported. But the weird thing is we saw in the offseason, I mean, first off, these teammates voted him captain. They said he was working harder than anybody. He had lost all this weight. He was showing up early and getting all the work done. So what changes from then to now? You know what I mean? That I don't want to put into question the validity of the stories or anything like that, but I kind of am, because that's it's true. He was grinding and working hard in the offseason. Now the season starts, he stops that. I don't know. It's a little puzzling to me. It's a little weird. And I think that Ron was kind of, he said it himself, he's in evaluation mode. He's 100% in evaluation mode. And I think we touched on it a little bit on Monday that he said as such. And that's why he wasn't exactly using all his timeouts the way people thought he should and things like that, which is fair. That's fine. That's cool with me. You got to see what you have before you know what you got. But it's just very odd that was the case. Like I said, that coming into this year, we were like, man, Dwayne, he's hungry. He wants it. He wants to prove it. He wants to get back to that elite quarterback we saw at Ohio State, and he knows how to get there. And then all of a sudden, he just stopped all that. Unless he's got something going on personally that we just don't know about, like that's just tough for me to believe.
I mean, there's one or two things. I believe me, I am a questioner of all as well, Ryan. I don't take things like that. Oh my God, it's true. I'm not one of those people that reads every story.
I know that. Yeah, I know that.
But I thought about two things. One thing is it could have changed once he made up the mind he had the job, as I know some people do. So when it was in fight mode, when he didn't know he was going to be the starter for this team, when he didn't know he was going to be the captain for this team, he varies well. I know people that turn it on and can work really hard when they have something to actually fight for. But once they feel they got it, they sometimes can relax a little bit and get a little bit complacent. So that could be one thing right there that could have happened. Secondly, it could be, again, they didn't come back together till when? We're getting these reports when they weren't together. Who knows what Dwayne Haskins, it's very easy to take pictures of yourself or take videos of yourself throwing routes, to some guys. And then, you know what I'm saying? You can report a lot virtually, but then once you get in person and people are actually seeing how you're being when you're in the same facility and the actions aren't matching up with what they were being fed before, then it's like, wait a second here. We'll give it a little bit of time. Maybe it's just a week. Maybe it's just 2 weeks. All right, we're in week 3. Okay, week 4, we can't. All right, this isn't the guy. This isn't the guy. So I think of it one of two ways that way, but I still feel like, and you know what? And to back that up, his posturing, they showed him in practice. Obviously, he's disappointed. Obviously, he's going to be upset.
He looked like a spanked little puppy.
Exactly. And is that how a professional acts? Is that how you saw Mitch Trubisky act who we all thought, who should feel like that being pulled on national TV, and not to mention have the guy come in to win the game for you. He was out there rooting for the guy. Even if you're not feeling that way, you're a professional. You root for your team. You remember you play for the name on the front of your jersey, not the name on the back. And so again, is he being the best type of team? Did that show the posturing of a team captain? So again, So do you put all those things together and mix them all up, and where there's smoke, there's usually fire.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that part there. I mean, I definitely saw, the pictures of him standing there, like literally arms crossed, look like, like I said, a sad little puppy that just had, his favorite toy.
When I got put in the out, when they used to pull me from third base and put me in the outfield when I played little league, that's how I would stand.
Yeah, man, it's true. So I mean, I don't, you can't discount that part either. Ron Rivera also said the other day that it's going to kind of be a game by game evaluation for Kyle Allen, which I expect him to do well as well because he did well in Carolina. Now he had a couple different weapons. I think Terry
really just one.
Yeah, Chris McCaffrey. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That Terry McLaurin's going to be an upgrade in any wide receiver he had in Carolina, and Antonio Gibson. I mean, he's not any bit as good as McCaffrey, but he has a lot of the same makeup and a lot of the same tools. So, that'll be good there. If he can get Logan Thomas involved, the tight end game involved, we'll see. But I don't know. I was a little hesitant about this move when it was announced. I still am a little bit. It doesn't, I don't feel like it was. Like I said, I'm not in the building, but you can only go by what you hear and what you see, and what we've seen from Dwayne. Has been both good and bad. Like I said, coming into this season, and then now that this decision's been made, so only time will tell. Maybe we circle back in week 13 and 14, and Dwayne's back in there. Who knows? This is
maybe not to cut you off, but maybe he grows up, and not to mention, not to sit here and bash Haskins, but like I said, it's I want him to learn. I want him to grow. I still think he can be a starter for us, possibly, if he starts doing the things and producing the results that we expect from him, and taking him so highly and paying him so much, as a rookie. But at the same time, you got to think about. What was his agent putting out there? Those tweets about his agent. Those types. Again, you put all that stuff together, and it does not make a good. You don't hear these things from other players. You don't. That's like Odell Beckham. It starts creeping into the Odell Beckham, Antonio Brown weird stuff with agents and Twitter and social media. When stuff starts getting pulled out there, then he's going to be forced to address that. And then their minds are not on the field. Their minds get all caught up in the he said defending what I said last week. So again, if my agent's doing that, it all reflects on Dwayne.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Because the agents are going to be the agents. They're on to the next guy, but it reflects bad on him. So I think it'd be a big step for him to fire that agent. In my opinion, I'm about football, and I'm going to show you the actions I'm going to do. I'm going to fire my agent because he's put my name out there saying, that I don't have no weapons except Terry McLaurin. How does that make the rest of my locker room feel? How does it make Antonio Gibson feel? How does it make these other guys feel? So, I mean, I think he's got to do some things himself. But I've said it before on this show, and I'll say it 1,000 times. I'm a man of a million chances. I'll give a guy a million chances as long as they do the things that they need to do to deserve that next chance.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He does have to put into some actions and put in some work that proves that he should be, return this job. I mean, now that it's taken away from him, I think he definitely has to earn it back. I don't think it should just be handed back to him just because we drafted him 16th or 17th overall, whatever it was. So now he's going to have to work to get it back, I think, and that's the way it needs to be. Like I said, I think it was maybe wrongly taken from him, but now that it has, he's got to prove and put in the work and show the actions that he deserves it. So, I wish him the best of luck. Like I said, hopefully we see him suit up again for Washington if it comes down to that. And hopefully he grows a little bit and learns a little bit from this. He's still a young kid, still a young cat, still has a cannon for a right arm. So I'm sure he shouldn't have any issue coming back from this. But again, who knows if it's in the burgundy and gold? Who knows if it's somewhere else? But,
one last point before you transition there, Ryan, is if you can think about it, the history of the NFL, and I can only go NFL because I know it better than any other sport. But you never can keep a good man down. Not one good man, not one good athlete has ever been kept down. So if he's got it, he will find a way to rise to the top. So it's for Dwayne. I hope you do. Let's see it.
Agreed. 1,000% agreed. Could not agree more. So going to this Sunday, we got a tough matchup against the Rams. I think this matchup is actually a little closer. I wouldn't say it favors us, but it's a little closer than I think people would expect. The Rams' running game it's kind of, I mean, game by game too. You know, you never know who's going to have the hot hand. They got Cam Akers, rookie out of Florida State, Darrell Henderson, who he's kind of been the guy that's taken the most snaps, I feel like, and then obviously Malcolm Brown, Hookem out of Texas. So you know, just going on based on what's on the field, you know, with the offense, we'll see. I think we you know, it's kind of wait and see mode with Kyle Allen. I think he'll have a little more poise. I think hopefully the accuracy is there a little bit more. So if he can get his guys open and see them and throw it to them, hopefully it's pretty easy. And get Antonio Gibson involved there pretty early, both passing and the run game. And things should be better, or hopefully, you know, good on offense. Now, as far as defense, I think the guy that we just have to key in on is Cooper Kupp. As long as we don't let his little squirrely ass get away from us and get behind us, because he always finds this way. Like, I don't even know if he has an actual route. I think Jared Goff just says, "Hey, get open. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna throw it to you." Because he's just like kind of runs around in a circle, spins around, runs left, runs right.
Hines Ward. Hines Ward, exactly. He just Hines Ward. If you ever go watch the Hines Ward play wide receiver, it's like he never even ran fast either. He just kind of just like. Yeah. I'm just kind of mosey on over here to this hole, catch the ball, and then just take off. You know, and that's kind of what he does. Yeah. That's kind of what he does there. But you're right, and I liken Kyle Allen a lot to someone else in the division, and that's Daniel Jones. When you watch him play, I think they're very similar in how they throw the ball and the mobility and the ability to move the pocket a little bit more. So I think that he definitely brings that into the table, which is going to be interesting to see, because I think Daniel Jones did, have success against the Rams last week. That you'd think they were chasing him around, but Aaron Donald didn't get him very much. You know, they had a chance to win that game last week. So if we can do the same type of thing, you know, run the ball, you know, we definitely have I think our Antonio Gibson is a much more talented back than Devontae Freeman. And I think that, you know, we have a more talented wide receiver core, and if we can do the same types of things that the Giants were doing, you know, late in that game last week, I think we can easily come away with a victory this week.
Yeah, for sure. And Chase Young was back at practice this week. He was practicing the last few days, so hopefully he's able to play. I mean, the original diagnosis was that he was going to be out about 2 or 3 games. This puts him at the 3-game mark of missing. So hopefully we can get him back out there. Obviously, that's going to be a huge boost for the defense. If we can get after him, I mean, Andrew Whitworth is a great tackle, but he's an old man. Chase Young is explosive and fast, so I think I like that matchup quite a bit. Obviously, our biggest deal on defense is going to have to be, on offense, is stopping Aaron Donald. I mean, that's first and foremost. We know Jalen Ramsey is going to be a handful for Terry McLaurin to handle. Jalen Ramsey's very susceptible to getting beat, especially downfield if he's getting a little too aggressive. So I think Terry should be able to handle him. You know, I wouldn't say easily, but I think it's going to be a good matchup there. So as long as we can get to Jared Goff and contain Cooper Kupp on defense, none of their other weapons really scare me. Tyler Higbee, he's kind of been, they have one other tight end. Let me look him up. Everett. Gerald Everett, right? Yeah, Gerald Everett. But I thought there was one other guy that they might have. Maybe I'm just making that up. But as long as we, you know, like we say every week, any team that has a decent tight end, as long as we can lock him down a little bit, we should be okay. But like I said, I think this matchup is a little bit closer than people might assume just on paper, just looking at these two teams.
You know, and when you said it, I didn't even think about it until when you said it. I wonder if Dwayne Haskins being benched made Chase Young want to come play. So they're serious about us winning games again. So you know what I mean? Like it just kind of, you never know. You see Chase Young out there each week when he was, you know, you can tell he wants on the field. The second he's going to be allowed, he's going to be on the field. Yeah. But yeah, Austin Blythe. You gotta watch out for that center. Remember we sat next to him when we were in LA that time last time.
That's right.
Yes, but yeah, he's on the team still. He's a starter. He's been I think he was almost a second team All Pro last year actually.
Wow.
Believe it or not, but you're exactly right. I mean, I think that we do match up well against this team. I think we can I think we can pressure Jared Goff, and Jared Goff under pressure is not good. He's not going to be able to run away from our pass rush at all. Based, you know, compared to what we've been facing, Lamar, Carson Wentz, and Kyler Murray, who are known for getting out of those situations. We're not going to have to worry about that as far as Jared Goff. He can move around, but not nearly as good. On the other side of the ball, on the offense, just like we said, their defense, Aaron Donald is the only one that obviously can disrupt the entire line. But it brings up a point that I've been thinking about, and I'm glad that you brought it up when you were talking about Aaron Donald wrecking our line, is the play of Wes Schweitzer in our right guard. I think that he has been, I think he was ranked super high last week. I forgot what it was in as far as run blocking. And it brings up a very important point. Well, one of two things. First of all, do we pay Brandon Scherf now? And I think we have somebody. Is Brandon Scherf that much better? Is he that much better? I mean, we like to say it because he's the only guy that ever gets talked about from our team. But do we have anything to actually back that up? Do we have any solid things to say that he is needed or worth? I shouldn't say he's good. Obviously, he's great. But is he worth what we're fixing to pay him? When we have somebody like that who's young and who looks like he's coming in there spiking the ball. I think it was him that spiked the ball, right, when Antonio Gibson scored the touchdown. So obviously an exciting guy that's out there, wanting to make some plays. So I've been impressed with that. So if he continues and we get that running game going and kind of get Aaron Donald thinking run and pass, then we might have a chance to be able to hit screen passes and other things like that. That's the best thing you can do for Aaron Donald. You're not going to tire him out. Is just to get him to think about more than one thing.
Yeah, touching on your question first about Scherf, I think so. I think you pay him just because a little veteran presence never hurts. And what's better than one really good guard? How about two really good guards? You know what I mean? Especially on an offensive line that hasn't had more than one really good player on it. Obviously Trent Williams and Brendan Scherf teamed up, but we need all the help we can get. So I don't think we're in the business of turning guys away right now for that offensive line. We're not gonna be like the Cowboys who have the worst secondary in the league and we're releasing guys from our secondary. You know what I mean? So I think we definitely pay Scherf and keep him around. To your next point, you're right. You're not going to tire out Aaron Donald. You're probably not going to outmuscle him unless you got three guys on him. If you can just have him trying to move in more directions than one, I think that's just kind of keep him off balance. I think you're absolutely right. The quick screen game, maybe some draws, things like that. Just a good balance of. I think if we just have a good balanced offense, I mean, it sounds stupid, but I mean, a lot of teams are geared more towards a pass heavy team, pass heavy offense. More teams are geared more towards run heavy. I think we could be a balanced offense. That's our best bet. Where a little bit of run, a little bit of pass, a little bit of play action. Sprinkle that all in together, mix it in a bowl, and boom! I think you have a winning formula. Because
who's the best quarterback to do that?
Alex Smith.
Sometimes these stories just write themselves. Man. I mean, I can't help it. With them putting Dwayne Haskins to number 3, it just tells me that you're basically saying if Kyle Allen gets hurt, that Alex Smith is going on the field and playing football on Sunday. We could very easily, because anyone can go down at any time, see Alex Smith playing quarterback this Sunday, barring, obviously I do not want to see Kyle Allen get hurt. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but that could happen. So, and I think we all know, I think our only, reservations about Alex Smith is, well, you have obviously, we don't want him to get broken. We don't want him to lose his leg. We don't think it has anything to do with how able he is, how smart he is, how hungry he is. Which I think is probably the biggest thing out of everything is that's going to probably supersede his physical is his passion and his hunger to quote unquote prove everybody wrong or finish his story. But I mean, I think that we very well could before the end of the season see Alex Smith leading this team, especially if Kyle Allen, just like Ron Rivera said, he left that door wide open by saying this is a week-to-week basis. Basically saying, if you don't win this game Sunday, Kyle Allen, and come out here and show me, we're bringing in the old man. And I don't want to call Alex Smith old, but hey, and I've said it from the beginning, I think he's the best quarterback on this team. I think he's the best quarterback for this team right now, based upon the structure of our team, just like you said, someone that can run a balanced offense, do play action, won't make mistakes. First and foremost, won't make mistakes, and he'll adjust. He's the type of person. It's not like Alex Smith has played behind these great offensive lines his whole career. He hasn't. Right. He's never played behind a great offensive line. He's always been a guy that's been mobile and being able to adjust, being able to take what the defense gives him. He has to get the ball out of his hand quick. He gets his ball out of his hand quick. If he has to handle, you know what I mean? So I fully trust and believe in Alex Smith's ability to come run this team. So it's very interesting to see where we are right now, because you put someone like that in the role, and then we're like in win now mode, and
which is
so
wild.
which is wild. But at the same time, then you would still want some other pieces. And before the trade deadline comes up, then you might want to start looking around the NFL. So what are some places you might want to look?
I don't know. I mean, I'll start looking when we get there. That's you know what I mean. I don't want to. I don't know. We'll start looking when we get there. It's. I mean, look. I don't want to discredit Alex Smith's. I guess wits or ability to play between the ears. His arm talent is good enough. He's not gonna have the big arm, which that's fine. We don't need a ton of deep shots. But it's just that leg worries me. I mean, and like I said, I'm not a doctor. I don't have any knowledge of that leg. If they clear him, if Washington doctors cleared him, then who am I to question it? I just know what I see with my two eyes, and sometimes that thing just still looks a little wobbly to me. And so I mean, if he does get in there, and obviously I want him to do well, and I want him to stay clear of any injury, but I just don't know. But I guess that's for another story. I say it's for another story down the road. But like you said, it could be in 2 days. We could be seeing that story unfold in 2 days.
That's why I like to keep it, especially close to the top, because again, it totally, like I said, if you do that, if you make the move to Alex Smith, like I said, I think it totally speaks of wanting to win or needing to win now. And so that opens, again, these other doors of, all right, well, if you need to win now, then do we need to go sign a tight end? Do we need to go trade for a tight end? Do we need to go get another weapon, another wide receiver? Do we need to pick up, another cornerback or a safety? So things like that. And can we get Dwayne Haskins out there? Who knows? Who knows what the structure of your team, what it does to your team. So I don't want to be blindsided by that. And then next we have Alex Smith on Sunday. Because we could be talking on Monday like, oh my God, Alex Smith just threw for 500 yards yesterday. Did you see that? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it could be that close. We're that close right now from that being a reality. And so, what does that do to our team? Again, like you said, it'll be a ride. We'll talk about it when we get there. But I like, to me, it just speaks on what Ron Rivera is doing right now. Is like you said, it shows he's in win now mode, and so it's going to be interesting to see how the team reacts on Sunday.
Yeah, it will be, and so to your point of we're in win now mode. I mean, do you want to win now? I mean, obviously you want to win now, but like, would you rather be able to build towards the future?
I mean, what's the difference? I mean, what's the difference? What would you be doing?
Well, what do you consider winning now? Like, is this going to be a Super Bowl contender next year?
No, I'm saying no. I'm saying winning now, as in winning our division, and then building up players around the style of offense that you're running right now. And I think the style of offense we're running right now, we need a good solid tight end hats off to Logan Thomas. I think he plays great. I think he's not a bad tight end. We need a good solid tight end and somebody else for Scary Terry so he's not getting double coverage and all the pressure's not on him.
Yeah, no, I agree.
To me, that's. And the latter would be just wait and hopefully get one in the draft next year who we can see pan out through the process, and then hope that Logan Thomas develops or Jeremy Sprinkle develops. So that's the difference in philosophy.
I'll tell you what, tight ends. I don't know if you've been watching any football on Saturday, but Kyle Pitts down in Florida, that looks like the guy that I want. That dude is electric.
I've seen him on mock drafts already. People are already putting mock drafts out there. He's already in our mock draft. So yeah, I heard of him before I heard of him, but yes, I have seen. So that would be awesome. So
that's cool. I mean, if we're gonna win now, that's the guy I'd like to see. You know how much we love those Florida tight ends. You know what I mean? But yeah. So like I said, I think this game will does have a good chance of being closer than people think, and I think this matchup is a lot closer than people think. Their weapons don't scare me, other than Cooper Kupp, as long as we can contain him. Robert Woods, he's one of those guys that he'll go 3 or 4 weeks having 2 or 3 catches for 40 yards or whatever, and then he'll have one day where he has like 8 catches for like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. So as long as we don't let that happen, I think this game's gonna be a lot closer than we expect. I mean, we've done it. We did it to them 2 years ago, 3 years ago at their house. We were there in attendance.
With a way worse team.
Yeah, and that was while the Rams were still on their way up. It was the year before their Super Bowl run. So yeah, I think this game will be a little bit closer. Let's go ahead. Preseason, I had this chalked up as a loss. Let's go ahead and chalk this. I'm flipping script. I'm gonna go win. Kyle Allen, he's gonna come in. Maybe Alex Smith is gonna come in, but I feel like the new quarterback play is going to juice up this team a little bit. And I think if we just limit the inaccuracies that we had at quarterback, as far as Dwayne Haskins missing throws and things like that, I think that might be able to put us online. And as long as our defense plays well, I think this game will come down to the defenses. I think the offenses are similar, not super explosive, just kind of do what they do. And it's funny to say that when it's a Sean McVay ran offense, but it's not super explosive. You know what I mean? They just make the right play, make the right call at the right time, and that's usually what gets you. But I'm going to go ahead and flip my original guess, I guess, or my original prediction is a better word. And I'm going to say we take this one at home and start a new leaf.
All right. Well, I think I did have us winning this game in preseason, so I'm going to obviously continue with that because I do feel like where we are, even with Dwayne Haskins, even the way we played last week, I think we could have beat this team as they've struggled. The Rams have struggled to beat the Eagles. They struggled to beat the Giants. They struggled to beat the Cowboys. They struggled to beat all the teams in our division who are not very good either. And so I think that it was already going to be a close game. And I think just the message being sent by Ron Rivera to this team right now, and the boost that it's going to give to all those people that have been, all those players that have been playing hard, that have not been coming away with the result, it's gonna tip the scales in our favor on Sunday. But an interesting thing too, I'm glad you brought up Sean McVay because I totally forgot he used to be our guy. So thinking back, I guess the only defender who consistently played against him was Ryan Kerrigan. So Ryan Kerrigan, would probably have some sort of, I'm sure a smart guy he is, leader that he is, has already been keen on things that who knows, what he could. I guess Sean McVay is very unpredictable as it is, but
yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see if we can limit his offense.
It will be for sure. And I think, like I said, that if Chase Young is playing, even if he's at like 50 or 75%, I still like our chances there. Tim Settle was great last week for us.
Yeah.
That's and I've been talking about Tim Settle for like 2 or 3 years now, and that is the guy I thought he was going to be. And it's great to see that it's in there, and hopefully he can keep that up because I have been a huge Tim Settle guy. I know that's weird to be like all in on our third string defensive tackle, but I was, because I thought the guy was sick, and there he is, finally proved me right, for at least for a game. So hopefully that keeps up there too.
The funny thing about Tim Settle, just a quick aside here, is everyone knows who listens to this show, and I play Madden. And Tim Settle's in the game every year as like a 63 or a 65.
Yeah.
And so I automatically link him to him sucking because he sucks for Madden. So when I see him come in the game in real life, I'm like, oh, we got a 63 player out there right now.
Well, he better be like a 69 or 70 after.
But he's been playing like he's an 89 right now because he's been called in both games consistently by the commentators of disrupting the holes and really just playing, basically filling the shoes that my Ioannidis have left. So we have not missed a beat as far as the defensive tackles are concerned, as far as having Tim Settle step into that role. And if we get Chase Young back, we're going full force, baby.
Absolutely. I think a lot of Tim Settle's play, too, you got to attribute that a little bit to Jack Del Rio because he knows how to get those guys up, especially on the defensive front seven. So, you got to kind of chalk that up. So, obviously, with me thinking we're going to win this game outright, I'm going to go ahead and take the 7 points that the Washington football team's getting. And I'm going to go over 45.5. I think this is a high-scoring game, which is crazy. I don't know if we're going to win a shootout. I just said it's going to come down to the defenses, and I say it's going to be a high-scoring game. I still think over 45. Over 45. I mean, I think like a 24-17. Well, that's only 41, so that's 51.
28-24. 28-24 Washington.
Maybe I want the under then. Maybe, you know what? We're going to go ahead and take the under 45.5. Watching and come back and bite me. So we'll take the 7 and lay and under 45.5 in that game there. Joe, anything as we wrap up here?
Not much. Just that I'm excited. Starting to lose that initial excitement we had from the beginning of the year. Obviously we were all excited for a new year, new things. We won the first game. And then right with the Eagles winning that game here we go. There goes our first place life. Now we're just going to continue to fall into the cellar with the Giants. But having Ron Rivera make this call, I know you, like you said, weren't a big fan of it, but I was a huge fan of it just because it sends a message that he's not playing. He don't play, and I'm just the same way. I am exactly the same way. I see eye to eye with that type of mentality. So to me, it speaks volumes about where he's at and where he thinks a lot of his team is at. And so I'm excited to see what it does this week. And I'm hopefully on Monday, we're smelling those roses. That coffee is tasting so sweet without sugar in it. The melodic melodies from those birds are chiming in like your favorite Celine Dion movie's pitch from 1992. and we're having that first place victory. So there we go. Let's
Absolutely,
get it, guys.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, we definitely need it. We definitely need it. So yeah, we'll see what happens this week. But yeah, I'm excited for it too. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, Kyle Allen can provide that little extra boost that we need. But as always, check us out on Apple iTunes if you haven't already. Like, rate, subscribe, review. On YouTube here, go ahead, hit that subscription button, ring the notification bell, so every Monday and Friday, as soon as we get these videos up, you're here to watch it and get filled in on the latest happenings around the Washington football team. Check us out on Twitter, on Facebook at AlliesBEL. That's below here. And tell your friends, tell your family, all that good stuff. Check us out, support. We like to support all the other YouTubers. Joe, you're big in the YouTube gang. So everyone kind of scratches each other's back. Everyone help each other out here, and just help us spread the word a little bit. All right. So until Monday, we will see y'all. We are your allies behind enemy lines, holding it down in Cowboy territory, and hopefully, like you said, we're smelling that sweet, sweet air. And we're hearing that sweet, sweet music, and food is tasting so, so sweet come Monday. Until then, y'all take care.